All right, Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Thank you for being a part of the journey, and don't forget to share the journey. And yep, this is not Max, this is Minnie Mouse. She's in here hanging out with me, and Rex just got done having the sheriffs here once again. I know it is Wednesday, and between Monday, when you guys got that video, and today, it has been very, very exciting up here. A lot of stuff happening, and I'm going to get into that. So, uh, it's just been a mess up here. Tuesday, yesterday, I took the dogs out on a hike across the property. Luckily, because for those of you that know, the short fence around this pond area, when I let the dogs out, the dogs jump the fence and they go running across the property, which you've seen in Sunday, Monday vlogs, how they go all the way over to the gate. And now that they know they can't get out the gate, they chase rabbits, catch rabbits, and do other things. Right, Man Mouse? Yeah. She knows what's going on. Yeah, because she's a crazy mom that don't listen all the time. She taught the boys how to jump the fence. The short fence, that is. They haven't got over the 6-foot fence. But took them out for a hike on Tuesday, which was yesterday. And, of course, the dogs run all the way up to the gate. I'm not that fast because I was on foot. I went for a hike. I didn't take the ATV. And I get up there and I see the dogs chewing on something and eating something. And the only thing that was over there by the emu by the gate was a pile of sweet feed. If the emu wants the food, they like to eat the grasses and the leaves and twigs and stuff like that more so than they eat the sweet feed. But I had that over there because she's been over there for a while and everything else. But she still comes over, as you saw in the Sunday, Monday vlog. She was running up and down the mountainside along the fence. She wasn't sitting at the gate where everybody's paranoid about having her over there. So I go running the second I see the dogs eating something because I know there shouldn't be something there. And I get over there and there's a big pile of raw green potato peels. Raw. And for those of you that don't know, potato peels are poisonous to dogs, whether they're brown, green, purple, whatever. If they are raw, they are poisonous to dogs and can kill your dog. Um, and so my first thought was, I'm sure my neighbor, the one that I had issues with, is probably one of the ones complaining about the emu being over there because that's right by her driveway. So I went over and knocked on the door to ask her if it was her that threw potato peels in or if she knew who threw the potato peels in. And she bluntly said she's the one that did it. She didn't ask permission to throw scraps, which is basically garbage, into my property. Over my fence, came onto my property, threw stuff in my yard, which is not legal to do. Then could have killed all my dogs. So I woke up this morning to throw up. I stayed up till 4 a.m. so I didn't get much sleep because I was afraid I might have to rush the dogs to the emergency room. Luckily, I got on them quick enough. They hopefully didn't ingest too much. I mean, Minnie Mouse is doing fine. The other dogs are doing fine. Like I said, just a little bit of throw up this morning. So I was irate when she told me that, and she not only told me that, but she sits here and tells me that she feeds them to her dog all the time, and it can mess with their nervous system, can do a lot of damage to dogs. And for all these people calling the cops on me for animal abuse and all this type of stuff, PETA should jump on that on my neighbor because she's purposely poisoned the dog. And she told the sheriff she feeds her dogs the potato skins raw. And just not a good thing. So I was so irate, I called 911, which I should have cooled down some. I ended up hanging up on 911, which I apologize to the sheriffs once they got up here. I was just so irate. So I hung up from them. Of course, I guess they kept trying to call me back, but I don't have cell service over here. Hopped in the tractor, and I figured, it'd be a couple hours before the cops get up here. They're not going to get to my place because the road was covered in a couple feet of snow. So to blow off some steam, I hopped in the tractor and went and started plowing the road, cranked the music up in the tractor, and just blew off steam. So I was cooled down by the time the sheriffs got up here. and I was able to communicate civilly with the sheriffs. So I told them I wanted to file charges against them. This is the third major problem I've had with my neighbors, you know. And then once again in the morning, I have a voicemail. Oh, I apologize. Da, da, da. So this is what they do. They cause problems, then call up and apologize, and I'm done with it. So I will not be communicating with those neighbors anymore. So in retaliation, today is Wednesday that I am filming this. So that was all day yesterday of all that stuff going on. Then I had to go pick up the piles of potato peels and get rid of them so they don't make my animals sick. So now today I'm in here, got out, fed the animals, checked on the animals, got them all taken care of. Came in here playing some computer games and watching some YouTube videos. And definitely did not watch the grandfather that somebody keeps telling me about if they see this video. I was watching crypto videos because crypto's been dropping, trying to figure out what I should do, but I think I'm just going to let it sit because every time I panic sell or something like that, it goes back up and then I lose more money. So I'm just going to hold off, do whatever, because I don't need the money till June or July anyhow when I start the house. But the dogs started barking outside because Max, Chubbs, and Mickey are all chained outside, and they started barking. So I knew somebody was on Wall Mountain Road. They barked the second they turn at the intersection. So I know half a mile away when there's a vehicle in the area. So I look out, and I got to stand at the camper window for a while because it takes a little bit for people to come up the road. And sure enough, a black and white vehicle. So it's the sheriff's again. So the sheriffs came up. I thought they were coming up to go over yesterday's charges or whatever. Not the case. In retaliation to turning in the neighbor and filing charges against the neighbor, two of my other moron neighbors went ahead and called the sheriffs this morning and said I had animal cruelty going on here at the ranch. So these people have never been here. They can't see my place from their house. They live miles up the road. So just two more stupid people calling sheriff. So this is like the 26th time sheriff's been up here. So I think it'd be funny if the county decides to stop plowing their roads and everything up where they're at because they're farther up the road for them wasting all the taxpayer money. I think that would be hilarious, but who knows what will happen. They keep it up. County might run out of money to deal with them and end up, I'm going to go to town and file a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. I'm going to find out who these people are, and I'm going to get it all documented, how many times they've called in repeatedly, and then I'm going to go talk to the district attorney. I'm also going to call my Italian lawyer up in the Springs, Patty Perello, and I'll let this go on for a little bit. And I'll just keep building the evidence pile. And then I'm going to file harassment charges. And I'll do a civil suit against them. So these people want to keep being stupid and keep harassing me. Be harassment charges. And I'll get it turned into a big case if these people are stupid enough that they want to continue doing it. And we'll go from there. So the sheriffs came up and they brought one of the dispatchers up here. Since they were coming up, they have a new dispatcher, so they figured they'd bring the dispatcher to see the new animals. And long and behold, it was a fun time because they were getting ready to get into the SUVs to go back down to another call. And they're talking to me right as they're getting in the vehicles, and I hear a goat crying, which is normal. They go, bah, bah. So, but this one sounded farther off and different than the other goats, because I know my goats. I know the sounds they make. I know pretty much who is making the noise. And this sounded different. So I said, hold on one second. So I run in. Long and behold, before they take off, Mimi decided to have babies, which luckily she didn't have them last night. Because last night we were about negative 15 degrees here, probably negative 20-ish with wind chill. It was bitter, bitter cold. I had the camper heater on, I had the propane heater on, and the electric heater on, and my electric blanket on. to keep this place toasty because it was so bitter cold, and that wind just sucks the heat right out of this camper trailer, even though it's a Four Seasons. With the high elevation, the wind, and the cold, it's just treacherous. That's why I need to get the house built this year, because I do not want to do another winter in this camper trailer. So anyhow, the sheriffs and dispatcher came in. They got to see new babies being born. So far, Mimi's had 2. I came in to film this video real quick. I'm going to go back out. Maybe she'll have another or so. Also, a couple people wanted a picture of the babies. So I went ahead and put up the different pictures on Facebook and Instagram, or not Instagram, just Facebook. So if you go to the Today's Homesteader Facebook page, you see the post with the new goats. And, you know, the cops love coming up here. So I know that it's not they're not cracking down on these people for calling them all the time, because they don't mind coming up here. It gets them away from the drug dealers and the murderers and thieves and all that type of stuff. Gets them out of the city, up here to the beautiful country. It's a beautiful drive up here. Beautiful drive going back. Really beautiful going back, because you got the big mountains, snow-capped mountains you see on the way back. And they get to hang out with the animals and check on the animals. So, of course, with all the animal cruelty charges or complaints and animal abuse complaints and maltreatment of animal complaints, they have to come up. They have to touch the animals. They have to give the animals some cookies to make sure they're well fed. And today was just, the cherry on the sundae, having baby goats born. Because, I mean, most of these officers do not live up here in the mountains. They don't have livestock. They don't have animals. So to be able to come up and pet a camel, like he said, they had one call was my emu was dead at the gate, which they drove over before he came over here to the camper area to check on the emu, just to see. And if the emu would have died, that would have been more charges on the neighbor, because that would have been, I don't know, animal, if it'd be animal murder charges or whatnot. But she blatantly says she watched the emu sit there and eat a bunch of the potato peels. But the emu was alive. I checked on the emu when I woke up this morning. And the camels were over at 16 with the emu, and actually came up to the fence, and they were able to reach their hand over and pet the camels. And so all in all, they had another good day coming up here. Of course, all the animals are good like normal. And they got to see baby goats being born. And that was a good day. And now I believe I am up. I got to check my count. I believe I'm up to 23 goats with these two. It's one boy and one girl. And these actually had the bigger floppy ears, where the other baby goats I've had so far this year, most of them minus one, have all had the tiny La Mancha ears. So, exciting times. I think I still have 2 or 3 more goats that will pop at some point. Like I said, who knows? Thelma had hers like a month and a half ago. So this is, we're going on a 2-month span of different times for goats popping. So I've had a lot of people tell me, why don't you lock the goats up so you know when they're going to have them? Well, I don't know when I'm going to have them. The bucks run with them. They have babies when they're going to have babies. And like I said, Mimi was smart. She waited till today while it was nice and warm. I ran in here, grabbed a towel, dried off the babies real quick. They're inside one of the shelters with a bunch of straw. So they're going to be good. It's sunny out. They're up and walking. So that's a good sign. And that's the life of homesteading. And that's the life when you have a bunch of moron neighbors, a bunch of haters that want to hate. And it don't bother me none, because it's a fun life. I don't mind the cops coming up here. If people want to try to be criminals in the area, hey, the cops coming up here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week to come to complaints. Hey, crime's going to drop up here, because they're not going to be casing areas and stuff like that, where they see cops coming back and forth all the time. So, hey, doesn't bother me none. So, for the rest of you, I'm going to get out there, check on my goat, and you can see Mr. Rex there. He likes to sunbathe all day long. Look. He was all the way over there earlier. Now he's over here. He follows the sun. The sun will stop about right here in the evening. And we've got another Rex event coming up. That real estate company has hired him for 4 hours. And then while the sheriffs were here, they said victim advocates at the sheriff's department at the jail in Canyon City, they have requested that I bring Rex down. They all would love to see Rex. And for those of you that don't know, I used to be a cop. When I was in military, I also did the special investigations with CSPD, Colorado Springs Police Department, and the El Paso Sheriffs. So for me being a cop, like I said, it don't bother me having cops come up because I used to be a cop. And I don't mind taking him to the courthouse like I did last week. And of course, next time I go to town, I'll take him over to the victim advocate's office and to the jail. And they all can see him. I don't mind doing that because I was a cop and it's a brotherhood and it is what it is. So I hope everybody else enjoys their day. Hopefully you don't have as many cop visits as me. Or if you do, they are friendly cop visits where if they're not coming up here for complaints, they're coming up here to get selfies with the animals. And they definitely love feeding the animals. The cookies that I have here designed for the animals and everything else. And I'll let you get one last close-up of Rex. Hope you guys enjoy this extra video this week. Is you sunbathing? Is you sunbathing, honey buns? Yep. Rex is like, what's that? I see myself on the camera. You see yourself on the screen? Is that another kangaroo? Is that another kangaroo? Who's that? Who's that handsome guy? Who's that handsome guy on that camera? All right, with that, it's a beautiful day. We had the bitter cold, but the sun's out. The snow's melting. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of the week. Take it easy.